All right, let's talk about United States of America. For about 48 hours after the Minneapolis shooting, U.S. President Donald Trump remained defiant. He was unrepentant about federal agents shooting and killing Alex Pretti, and he had refused to bow down to growing public pressure. But then, all of a sudden, that changed. First, Donald Trump put out a post on social media saying that he had spoken to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. He said that they were on a, quote, similar wavelength. After that, Trump announced that he spoke with Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. He called it a good telephone conversation and said that progress was being made. Trump also deployed Tom Homan, his so-called border czar, to Minnesota. Homan will now oversee anti-immigration operations there. And Trump says that Tom Homan will report directly to him. In the latest, reports say that Gregory Bovino, Trump's special commander-at-large of Border Patrol, is being withdrawn from Minneapolis. Bovino was the face of the immigration crackdown, but reports say that he will now leave Minneapolis by late Tuesday and go back to being a chief patrol agent at the U.S.-Mexico border in California. He will also reportedly be stripped of his special commander-at-large title. All of these moves show that Donald Trump is backing off. But what could be the reason for this U-turn? Well, reports suggest that three major factors may have influenced Trump's face and this U-turn. First is the pushback from the U.S. gun lobby. Second is a threat by Democrats to block a government funding bill. And the third is a fall in Donald Trump's approval ratings right ahead of the midterm elections in November this year. We'll go through each point one by one, starting with the backlash by the gun lobby. Remember, Alex Pretti was a licensed gun owner. He had a permit to carry a concealed weapon. He happened to be carrying that weapon when he intervened to protect two women from Border Patrol agents on Saturday last. Videos of his killing show that the agents were restraining Pretti, disarming him, and then shooting him dead. While investigations are still underway, remember, this video shot by witnesses does not show Pretti reaching for his weapon at any point. But the Trump administration was quick to criticize Alex Pretti for having carried the firearm.
I don't know of any peaceful protester that shows up with a gun and ammunition rather than a sign. This is a violent riot when you have someone showing up with weapons and are using them to assault law enforcement officers.
Now, statements like these from the Trump administration enraged the gun lobbying groups like the National Rifle Association of America. The group staunchly champions the American Constitution's Second Amendment, which guarantees the right to bear arms. The criticism of a licensed gun owner for carrying a weapon he was permitted to has led to fierce backlash from the NRA. And gun enthusiasts have been a faithful Republican voting bloc since the 1960s and 70s. So the GOP cannot really afford to get on their bad side. Now, coming to the second major reason. Pressure point is Democrats threatening to block government funding. The United States just went through its longest government shutdown last year. It lasted 43 days and caused massive problems for Trump and the Republicans. Now, another government funding bill is due to head to the U.S. Senate this week, but the Democrats have threatened to block it because it covers funding for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. That's the department which oversees ICE and Border Patrol agents. If the Democrats block the funding bill, it could lead to a partial government shutdown. And the Republicans want to avoid that, especially as midterm elections are due later this year. And finally, the third reason. The last pressure point is a dip in Trump's approval ratings. A Reuters Ipsos poll conducted from 23rd of January through till the 25th of the same month shows Trump hitting a record low. His approval rating is just 38%, which is tied at lowest for his second term so far. He's also losing approval on immigration policy, which is usually his strongest plank. The dip in ratings ahead of the midterms could devastate the Republican Party. So Trump has to make the ratings tick up as soon as possible.